Hi, and welcome back to A Simple Watch. Today we are going to be counting down the top 10 biggest movie mistakes that you may have missed. As always, sit back, enjoy, and if you do notice any mistakes that we have missed or that you know of, please comment below and we'll add it onto our next video. Thank you. Starting off at number 10, we have Titanic, one of the best films ever made.
I'm the king of the world!
Even the best actors and the best directors can make mistakes. Unfortunately, on this one, there ended up being two sets of the Titanic, and nobody actually noticed that the front of the boat was actually shaped completely different. You can see from this clip here, and then when we go on to the second clip, you can tell it's slightly different shape, slightly different colour, and the objects are in different places. Our ninth film, we have It. This scene is a little bit of a tricky mistake because, as you can see here, there's no napkins by Bill. Now, suddenly there's one napkin. We didn't see him use one. When the clip goes back onto Georgie and back onto Bill, and now there's suddenly two napkins there. Some might say Bill could have used these napkins in a split second that the camera went to Georgie, but I disagree. What do you think in the comments? Is this a mistake?
I'd come with you if I weren't dying.
I'm not dying.
You didn't see the vomit coming out of my nose this morning?
On thee with great vengeance and furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my...
In our number 8th spot, we have Pulp Fiction. You might already know what mistake I'm going to mention because a lot of people wasn't sure whether Quentin Tarantino actually did this mistake on purpose. But as you're about to see here, there's bullet holes already behind Samuel L. Jackson's head. Then the bullets go off and then suddenly there's bullet holes behind Samuel L. Jackson. So what do you think? Do you think Quentin Tarantino did this on purpose? Or do you think it was just a mistake? I'd be really interested to know, so leave your comments below. This is a mistake we feel like you may have missed. In a second when the music plays, make sure you keep an eye on a little blonde girl with a ponytail in, and when the Candyman lifts the countertop up, because you may have missed a mistake here.
Who can take tomorrow, dip it in a dream? Separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream. The Candyman.
So did you notice the mistake? Don't worry, we're going to take a closer look just in a second. But I just want to say this poor little girl ended up powering through being smacked in the face by the countertop and still carried on filming the whole thing. One absolute trooper. Now let's see if you recognise the next mistake. That's right, even a film as amazing as the Pirates of the Caribbean, this is from The Curse of the Black Pearl by the way, has a really simple mistake. I cannot believe this didn't get picked up upon. Now let's take a closer look. Okay, that's right. There is a cowboy on the set of a Pirates of the Caribbean. Who would have thought that nobody picked up on this?
Drink up, me hearty yo-ho.
So we are going back to the very first Fast and Furious now, and Jesse and Tran are just about to go on their first race. Now, I wonder if you've picked up on this mistake before. If you haven't, pay close attention to Tran and see if you notice anything odd. Leave a comment below if you notice that Tran's top changed from a black button shirt and again, and then just before the race takes off, he's now wearing a black vest top. I didn't realise he had time to change.
Who are you racing?
On to the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and a lot of fans do obviously compare the book and the film together. So when fans realise that Harry Potter doesn't have the same eyes as he's meant to in the books, they kind of let aside that because it's not that big of a deal. But when the movie franchise brought up Lily's and Harry's eyes being the same throughout the whole movie franchise, you can understand why fans weren't that happy that Lily had dark brown eyes compared to the piercing green eyes they were meant to have in the books.
saw you, Harry, I recognized you immediately. By your eyes. They're your mother, Lily's. Except your eyes.
You have my mother's eyes.
Except the eyes, of course. You have your
Mother's eyes.
You have your mother's eyes.
I do feel like if the fact that he has his mother's eyes weren't brought up so much, it wouldn't have been a mistake. On to American Sniper now. The reason this is a mistake is because unfortunately the couple couldn't use a real baby on set. The baby they had lined up actually fell through. So the day of shooting they had to improvise and use a baby doll, which you can quite blatantly see is a fake doll. Now that isn't the worst bit. The worst bit is in a second when you see Bradley Cooper trying to use his thumb to move the baby's arms, and he should have just left it alone. Going on to Mean Girls now, this is our second to last film. I want you to pay attention to Damien's popcorn and see what mistake is made here. Just as he gets scared, the popcorn goes everywhere. Goes back to Lindsay, and then the camera goes back to Damien, and look, all the popcorn's all tidy and cleaned up and there was no mess anywhere. How does that happen? And just to show you a little close-up of the popcorn before and after.
Regina George is an evil dictator. Now, how do you overthrow a dictator? You cut off her resources.
Our last film is one with Will Smith, and it is The Wild Wild West. Obviously, there's a lot of nudity in the scene if you haven't seen it. Now, please beware, you may need to cover your eyes if you don't know what this mistake is. Will Smith's stunt double actually stood up in the front of the camera too quickly, and they caught a glimpse of his genitals and unfortunately didn't actually edit out the film. As you can see here, I have blurred it out for you all so you don't have to see the Johnson. We hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.